Yeah.
Have any opinion you want.
That's right. That's right.
Kevin, if you remember, you're the one who let me know about Eddie's passing.
And so I took my shoe off and had him sign my shoe. That chair shot is who you should be mad, which you may be mad about. Holy shit. I was born ready, sir.
To say, guys, this was great. The Wrestling Success Podcast. There it is.
I was born ready, sir.
He was born ready.
Let's jump into these top fives. Go ahead. You
Okay.
count us in.
Count us in.
I've got all my managers.
All right, so we're ready to do it. This is it. This is
Sure.
the Burning Success Wrestling Podcast. Your co-host, as always, the Wrestling Success Podcast. There it is. Your co-host, as always, I'm Kevin Success, and with me is a future Hall of Famer. He is the one. He's the only Burning Dragon. Steve Hamlin.
Two-time Hall of Famer.
Oh, when did this happen? I totally missed everything. How are you doing, Steve Hamlin?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and I think we have a special guest with us as well today. Is that
She
correct?
left the room.
Okie dokie then. Moving on.
He was introducing you. She came back. She's back.
She's back. She is back. She is the one. She is the only. Who is this?
Your wife?
Yes.
Your wife.
Yeah. Hello.
She's going to
I'm sorry I left.
she's going to TikTok a little bit and listen to us be dumb, but
Oh,
she
all
is
right.
here to throw in her 2 cents.
Well, I'm excited to have her. And then I think eventually we're going to have some other people join too. So this is pretty exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, our one of our next couple of episodes, we're going to have a buddy of ours that we backyard wrestled with.
Yes.
He is going to stop by and tell us his opinion
And that'll be good.
on fandom and stuff.
And stuff. I'm excited.
Yes.
That's good. So we're going to do something a little different today in this episode. We're actually going to list top fives. We have several top 5 categories, and we'll go through them. And I think we'll probably have some more episodes like this. So I'm looking forward to it. And look, here is organized thoughts of our top 5s. Mine, something similar. Yes. Good camera work. All right.
You have to put it in front of you.
I do. Oh, maybe not. Oh, you were so smart. That makes sense. Because it's trying to look for the face. Okay. All right. Great. Good. Well, let's do it. All right. So, several
I'm
categories.
on to it. I'm ready.
All right.
All right. Let's start with favorite WrestleManias. No,
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm just kidding.
Well, let's list what the categories are for tonight. We're going to do the top 5 wrestlers, but our category are those who are currently inactive. So it will help narrow down the list. After that, we're going to list our top 5 managers, and when we say managers, we mean the folks coming out with the wrestlers. We're not talking about general managers. We're going to follow that up by the top 5 giants of wrestling. And then the top 5 gimmick matches. And then we'll end it off with the top 5 championship belts. Specifically, what they look like, the theme, the colors, not necessarily the top 5 different kind of championships. So, let's get it started. I think we agreed we'll go with my list first. The way we'll do it is we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 1 being our most favorite or top pick for that category. And we're going to do it back and forth style. So I'll say one, give my opinion, thought on it, and then Steve Hamlin will follow up with his, and we'll go through that way. So, top 5 wrestlers, inactive. This was hard, even if we were going to like incorporate active ones, because they're wrestlers that like Luthez and Bruno San Martino. I was going to put them on there, but it's just too hard to include them. So I didn't include any of the older.
Right.
Yeah, those who kind of, I think, the foundation of the kind of wrestling we see today. So we will start. I'm going to start off with number 5 because that's the rules. And the number 5 person that I chose was Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was a last addition to the list. I think I like Brock Lesnar the most because, for one, his body type, I feel like actually tends to not perform very well. I'm not a big fan of guys like Bobby Lashley. I think he kind of has a similar body type. I'm not a big fan of like Batista. Just all muscle, tall, big. They just tend to stumble over themselves a little bit. They can't really There's not a lot. They're all power moves, but Brock Lesnar's not that kind of wrestler. He does have power moves, and I think his finisher is one of the best, in my opinion. I love the F5, but his reign in WWE was awesome. I love the storylines that he was in. I love the feud with him and Undertaker. Um, he was such a great heel for the most part, and even when he came back most recently, he was kind of a babyface for a little bit, and even then, like the cowboy hat and all that, I think that was pretty awesome. So I had to
Yeah.
put him in. That's my number 5. That's what I'm starting my list off with.
Well, I would agree that Brock Lesnar should be up there. Their body style. See, Bobby Lashley has gotten really good since he's come back. He went to TNA and he did some MMA, so he's gotten a lot better. Batista, I always thought was good once he got away from the I'm a big muscle guy.
Towards the
He
end.
quit doing that. He kind of towards the end on his heel run, really great. Not that we're here to talk about those, but
Sure.
okay, Brock Lesnar's passable is one of the top 5. Yours especially.
Woohoo.
This is all personal opinion too, so it's personal preference and it's all individually based. So I didn't put Bruno Sammartino in there because I never saw the man wrestle,
Exactly.
and apparently he'd have like 30-minute punching a guy on the back and doing back suplex matches. Like that was probably great for the time, but I'm not going to watch that. You know what I mean? So I think cutting it down to inactive WWE wrestlers, people that we all think and that you would kind of take as a WWE wrestler. Your Austins, your Rocks. Well, Rock for sure, but Austin, he also worked in WCW, but I think everyone calls him a WWE guy. So your number 5 is okay. My number 5 happens to be Mick Foley. It's number 5. And I think Mick Foley is underrated. I think Mick Foley has made so many wrestlers' careers, especially from like 96 to 2000 and then even beyond. Randy Orton, Edge, he really helped those guys out. So even when he wasn't full time, he was still putting in some work and having good matches. All his matches with Triple H, he made Triple H. His match with Stone Cold at Over the Edge in '98, great as Dude Love. But I think Mick Foley's number 5. He put his body through a lot. He could sell on the mic. He could sell in the ring. You believed it. Everything he did looked like it killed him or should have. And so he's my top 5. Or he's my number 5, sorry.
I wish I could put him in because absolutely, and not. It's awesome that he has like 10 different characters too. He has so many different abilities. But gosh, you can't say it enough that one, I think he is underrated, and 2, he definitely put people over. Such a good match. Even like the examples you gave, like Edge and Randy Orton when he was doing a Legend Killer kind of tour that Randy Orton was doing. Towards the end of his career, the fact that he can still like just take all those bumps, they're just nasty. Like the spear with Edge through that table that was on fire was crazy. Oh, I'm so glad someone put him on a list because he needed to be. Great. So we've got our first 5, the first number 5 on our list. So we'll move to number 4. This one kind of hurt to put so low, but I did put Kurt Angle at number 4. I think he should be way higher for most people, but I put him in there. There's not a lot to not say about Kurt Angle, especially at his prime, which unfortunately was sort of during his drug addiction days. But he just seemed for the most part, quite intense, whether it be on the mic, in the ring, whatever. Fantastic finisher as well. Both the ankle lock and the ankle slam are just so intense. When he takes his straps off of his singlet, he's about to lock in the ankle lock. It's just it's so fantastic. His entrance theme is always incredible with the trumpets.
You suck.
And the "You suck" chants.
Suck.
Yes, those were it. Just everything about him. It was just a complete package. It's just fantastic. Yeah, just a fantastic wrestler. So definitely should be in everybody's top 5. But that is my number 4.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. My number 4 is going to be a little bit controversial. Maybe not. Maybe just because internet wrestling fans don't like him, but Triple H.
Really?
Triple H is my number 4.
I would never guess that from you.
I know. Just in the past few years, I've really changed my opinion.
Oh,
Going back and rewatching like his run when he came in, all the shit they put him through, the DX days, and then in 2000 and 2001 he just becomes this crazy heel, and then 2003 he had a good run, decent run, and then his Mick Foley matches, his Stone Cold matches, his matches with The Rock. He's always been consistent, and then even as like him and Daniel Bryan killed it at WrestleMania 30. Him and Seth Rollins had a good match, and it's a shame that he has his heart issue now, because I still think he'd come out and put on a couple of bangers. Like they were going to do him versus Rock at WrestleMania
That would have been awesome.
one more time,
That would be awesome.
and we got gypped out of it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Triple H is on there, and then behind the scenes, he's been so creative, storyline wise. A lot of people said he buried guys, but I mean, if you were in his situation, you'd have done it too. Nobody says they wouldn't. That's my number 4.
And didn't he have a? I know he had a. I'm thinking Undertaker. Didn't he have a great match with Undertaker? I think at WrestleMania, because I think it was like Triple H had
27 or 28. Yeah.
Yeah, a more recent one. Yes.
He also,
yes.
and it's 17. Him and Undertaker wrestled.
Oh, originally, I didn't know that. A while ago, I thought that was their first one. So
No, he had one at 17.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you brought him into the mix, because I feel like a lot of these lists can be pretty generic. So okay, great. What do you think of his finisher though?
The pedigree.
The pedigree.
I like the pedigree.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing with the pedigree is that some guys like put their knees down.
Yes, that's awful.
And don't take it very well. But I think it's fine.
Yeah,
it'll pass.
I think it's fair, especially when they do take it well, flat out. Like they just basically when their head area hits the mat first, that's when it gets nasty in a good way. I was just curious. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
wow.
sure.
Okay. Number 4 was Triple H. Here we go for number 3. My number 3 pick was The Undertaker. This was hard. The top 3 were hard. I'm sure Undertaker's and just about everybody's wrestling top 5. Again, what else? I mean, there's not much that you can't say about The Undertaker. Different kind of themes for him as well. But the iconic gong coming out, and it's just such an interesting. I feel like the idea of the Undertaker would 100% be a hit or miss idea, because when you really think about it, it's almost goofy to think about like a dead man, whatever. But it went so well, and everybody loves him. The choke slam, the tombstone pile driver, always fantastic to see. You got the badass Undertaker, or the American badass, whatever, on the motorcycle. Gosh, there's just so many great storylines, so many great matches. I had to put him at top 3, and that's where I stuck him at. So that's my third.
My number 3 is The Undertaker.
There we go.
Yep, it is for sure. That's funny. Which you think he'd be number 1 because he's
Yes.
my favorite wrestler of all time, but I've started to change the way I look at wrestlers, and like even though he's technically my favorite, like overall, like you said, the character changes, the reinvention, the 30 years of wrestling, it's just everything he did was always worth something, even though sometimes like a lot of his WrestleMania wins are bad, dude. Like King Kong Bundy, Giant Gonzalez.
Most recently, Brock Lesnar. Ugh, that was awful.
Yeah.
The one that he lost to
he
Brock
did get he did get a concussion like 3 minutes into it.
Yeah, and that is true. I only recently learned about that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But no, I did pick Undertaker because he constantly changes. He always had good matches, strewn throughout his career. He was always a key player in the Attitude Era. And then when you go into the PG era, he could still do it. You get into the modern day, and he worked with guys like Bray and Roman. And, I mean, yeah. And to go along with it, you should look up Kurt Angle versus Undertaker from No Way Out 2007. Phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, should have been 5 stars.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Davey Meltzer didn't give it 5 stars, but that's because he's biased and dumb.
Right. Well, it should be 5 stars because those are 2 5-star wrestlers. So that's awesome.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's great that we have the same as number 3.
Yeah, I'm interested in the next two, number 1 and number 2.
I'm gonna catch some heat for it.
Then we weren't going to have the same list. Interesting. This will be interesting. Okay, well, let's see. My number 2 was The Rock, and again, just what can you not say about The Rock? We've seen him as face, we've seen him as heel. He is probably the best on the mic in anybody and any business ever, in my opinion, which is limited, but just he's such a smooth talker. He has his catchphrases, but he doesn't rely on them all the time. He'll shoot anything. I think there was that one controversial time where he had to write, I think, the city or something on his hand. Someone gave him a hard time about that. That was tail end of his career. That was like literally a few years ago. But gosh, the people's elbow. It's a let's be honest. It's kind of a goofy move, but just so electrifying, yes, and iconic. But the rock bottom is such a great move. He's just a great wrestler. He's just so quick and just agile. And again, his mic work is amazing. His promos are amazing. Such a great storyline throughout his career. Great championship reigns. So I had to put him as number 2.
It's not a bad call. It's not a bad call.
Yeah.
I thought about The Rock while I was writing my list out, and I thought The Rock. A lot of people talk about. You said he's great on the mic. He's funny. He has good matches. He has the charisma. He was at one point the biggest movie star on the planet. Like, just all these things. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, man, the rock bottom's cool, the people's elbow, his matches. I can name a bunch of good matches, but he doesn't fall in my top 5.
Wow. I love it. Wow.
My number 2 is Shawn Michaels.
Wow. So Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Wow. And Shawn Michaels is good.
I'm just such a WWE mark.
Yeah. Because
but Shawn Michaels,
I was going to say, I think during our friendship, I don't think I would have ever seen you say, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think I wanted to highlight the point that you made. The top 5 doesn't really necessarily mean our 5 favorite wrestlers. So
right.
Yeah, good for you. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, and as early as 5 years ago, it would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never put Triple H on my top 5 years ago. But then I got to really thinking about it, going back and rewatching stuff and seeing like he always had good matches. Anybody can say, "Oh, he was slow. He tried to wrestle Harley Race style in 2004. It doesn't work." Blah 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 blah. It's like, no, it did work because he's still over like $1 million. He still sold merch.
Yeah.
Everyone went crazy when he came back from his quad injury at the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back Triple H, yes. So Shawn I put on my list because he's the originator of Sweet Chin Music. He's, he's the showstopper. He's Mr. WrestleMania. Any, nickname you want to give him, and he put on hell of a good matches. You have the Foley one from '96. You have the return match with him and Triple H that was really good when he first came back. You have all his tag stuff. You have him as champion. You have him versus Bret Hart multiple times. You have him versus Austin, WrestleMania 14. You have, and this isn't, Shawn may have been a complete shithead behind the scenes. This isn't about that. This is about in-ring and quality and performance, and the man's untouched. And then he comes back and he has this crazy run when he comes back. Him versus Jericho in 2008 a bunch of times. Him versus Jericho at WrestleMania 19. He did a stretcher match with Batista. I think that was 2007 or 2010, one of them. The man just went on a killer run. Then he ends out the career with him and Undertaker, him and Ric Flair. So he deserves it. That's who I give number 2.
That's good. It is surprising, but so respectful. And man, that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels match was so phenomenal. I don't remember the stretcher match, but
I can't remember it like
in detail,
verbatim like I can in other matches.
Yeah.
But I do remember that it happened, which blew my mind.
Wow, and being that like late in his career, so that's awesome. Oh gosh, yes. I know it's not a. I think hardcore fans may not really appreciate his super kick, his sweet chin music so much, but I mean, he does. I think he hits it pretty darn good as one can. Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that you threw me one there. That's I'm just surprised, but I respect it. That's awesome. Okay, let's do our number one here. Mine is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't think there's from start to finish. Well, yeah, we talked about like his WCW days, or even like his was it Ringmaster days. We can
Yeah.
yeah, we can cut the fat out there, but pretty much when it become the glass breaking Austin 316 all the way to later in his even today where he's not wrestling anymore. It just there's nobody over like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was just such a ruthless brawler. Another guy that was great at promos, fantastic storylines. Everybody I think can relate one way or another of like hating your boss, and just him and McMahon were just such a great feud throughout his career, or at least
Oh yeah.
majority of it. Yeah. The Stone Cold Steve or the Stone Cold Stunner, probably one of my favorite finishers. And the fact that he can hit it out of nowhere, well, for the
Mhm.
most part, yeah. Um, I had to do it. I had to put him as number one.
I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it?
Hold on, pull it back. Austin is number one. All right, that's pretty sweet. We got 2 out of 5 is the same spot.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
Yeah.
also for all the same reasons, he's
Yep.
made the most money for the company
Yeah.
ever.
Mhm.
He had a hell of a run. He was the main. Sorry, it's buzzing. I touched it,
Oh, that's okay.
but he had a serious run. He's what drew a lot of fans in. There's so many memorable moments: the Zamboni, the beer truck, the monster truck, filling Vince McMahon's Corvette with concrete, uh, getting Vince to pee his pants in the ring, like all these things that he did, and yet still having banger matches like all the way up until 2001 or 2002 comes back, and then last year him and Kevin Owens killed it at WrestleMania.
That
So
was awesome.
like
That was
yeah, Austin's number one with with a bullet, no beating him,
mhm.
and yeah, because he could even do he's a hell of a technical wrestler
Yes.
before he became Austin, where he was just going to beat the shit out of you. Like he can hold for hold and go like the Hollywood Blonde days. He was good
Yeah.
as a Hollywood Blonde. Yeah, I mean that was WCW, but
Right.
you know what I mean.
That wasn't a
Yeah,
big.
no, so that's killer.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That was awesome. That was
All
our
right,
top 5. Great. All
that's
right.
our top five inactive WWE wrestlers, and the next, if I may introduce
Yes.
the next top five list that we're going to do that we've talked about is somebody is a set of people that I think are not given the credit as much as they should be, and say top five best managers in wrestling.
Yes.
And they have a special place.
Yes.
They do a damn good job if they're good, and they actually add to the performance and the match. And let's jump into it. Who is your number five, good sir?
Excellent. My number 5 is Jimmy Hart. And
Oh, nice.
yes, I think he
Nice.
had such good charisma, and kind of like what you said, they need to be able to add to the match itself. And I think just like I just remember like that Mouth of the South character that he had. And again, let's be honest, I this is stuff that I vaguely remember, but definitely wasn't the days I was watching wrestling. But I if it's clips, whatever, I just remember seeing him just so charismatic. And even outside the ring, of course, during promos, he was just always so fantastic. I wrote some folks that he did manage, big names. Of course, we got like the Hart Foundation, but also like Hulk Hogan, which he's not my favorite wrestler, but let's be honest, he was a huge influence for multiple promotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, Jerry Lawler, is that true? I read somewhere that he was a manager for Jerry Lawler. Um,
I'm sure he
so
wasn't in Memphis.
yeah, true. Memphis, that would make sense. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I had to put him in my list, and I had to put him kind of lower because he wasn't my favorite. But I think again, he was very
Okay.
influential. Yeah, yeah. That's my number 5.
Yeah, I can't argue that point. I left him off just because the airbrush and the megaphone and the running around and the
It's too much.
screaming and the carrying Hulk Hogan's weed for him really just didn't really didn't really put it.
That's legit.
He's just not on my top five, but he should have. He's honorable mention, sure.
There you go.
Sure.
Honorable mention at least. Excellent.
My number 5 is Paul Bearer, and it's because he was with the Undertaker, and it just made sense. And Percy Pringle, just a madman, and then that awful yes, yes
I love
at the
that.
side of the ring, and he's just
Yes.
yeah, and like then turning on the Undertaker was such a vital moment, like a real shock to the system at the time and stuff, and then him introducing Kane, having Kane and Mankind as tag champs, and just being this thorn in the side. And then when he came back a little bit there in like the 2000s, so I kind of rounding out the top 5 off the top of my head because I was not prepared for managers, to be honest. Even though I gave the entrance and everything, you kind of shook it up on me.
That was me.
You were like, "Hey, we're not going to do WrestleManias. We're going to do managers." And I'm like, "Guess we'll see." So that is off the top of my head, number 5, Paul Bearer.
Love it. Oh, I love it. Good pick. Yes, I threw us a little bit there. Give you a test. Okay, let's keep
No.
going. Yeah. All right, number 4. We talked about him last week or last time on our podcast. Jim Cornette. I think he should be
Nice.
on everybody's top 5, but maybe not. I don't know. Similar reasons to Jimmy
Should be.
Hart. Yeah, I think he should. Another charismatic guy, and a guy that was tagged up with not tagged up, but managed a lot of good big names as well. Again, I wrote some down, so like Ted DiBiase, but also the two that comes to mind for me for whatever reason, Owen Hart, Yokozuna. And then there was a clip that I saw where Bobby Heenan even comes out in the middle of the ring and just kind of goes on about how he's like the greatest manager of all time. I think that says a lot in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just another guy that can really draw as a heel. Loved his promos that I recall, and some of the ones that I looked up. He's just he does it so effortlessly. I think people that can either be an asshole or a heel or whatever that does it effortlessly just tends to be such a good whatever they are. If it's a manager, wrestler, whatever. So I had to put him in.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't argue that. Actually, he's number 3 on my list.
go.
I know we're on number 4, but we might as well talk about him now while we're on it.
Sure.
Number 3 on my list is Jim Cornette, Midnight Express. Just booking his own territory.
Yeah.
He worked in developmental down in OVW. He lives in Louisville. He's been around forever. Great manager. Didn't bother the piss out of you.
Yep.
Mouth like an engine, just runs for days. And his takes are good, and he's funnier than hell. And I listen to his podcast sometimes, and yeah, he's definitely top 5 on everybody's list. It should be.
Awesome.
My number 4 is kind of obscure.
Ooh.
I don't think that you'll know him,
No.
but his name is Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney. He is from ROH.
Oh, okay.
And he's no longer alive, but when we would go to ROH, he would remind you of kind of like a Paul Heyman mixed with a Jimmy Hart, mixed with a Jim Cornette, like loudmouth, ran his mouth, dressed like Ric Flair, had blonde hair, red face, screaming, take his whatever, dressed really nice, and just on it. Really brought a great energy to the matches, and he wrestled a little bit too, but he was more of a manager and a personality. And for some reason, he popped in my head, and I was like, you know what? I like that guy. I always thought he was destined for more. He could have been real big if gotten on one of the other shows.
That's a shame.
So that's who my number 4 is.
And the things that you list on there are all great qualities that should be in a manager. So that's a shame. Yeah. That he that he passed. Oh, I'm glad you slipped that in there. That's awesome. I'll have to look him up again on YouTube. Number 3 for me was Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Nice.
Yeah, he reminds when I look at him, he reminds me a lot of Jim Cornette as well. And like I said with Jim Cornette, it's the same thing. I didn't necessarily remember him specifically a lot when I originally was watching wrestling. I just remember clips of him or mentions of him, whatever. So kind of going through it and kind of looking it up again. I think he's even more entertaining in some ways than Jim Cornette is. Maybe not as like smooth when he's talking, but he was very entertaining. And I think it was kind of funny too. Managed some great wrestlers like Mr. Perfect. Um, let's see who else do I have. I know there were some other personalities. I can't remember. I don't know. Oh, Rick Rude. I think Rick Rude as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So I think he had a pretty good career from what I saw. So I had to put him in there, and I think he was a brilliant man as well, altogether, similar to Jim Cornette. So yeah, that's my
Oh
number
yeah,
three. Yeah, yeah. So you told us
that's
yeah, you had Jim Cornette as your number three. So
correct.
we'll jump to number two. My
Well,
number
oddly enough, you say that
oh
my number two is Bobby the Brain Heenan.
boom. So why don't
So,
we start
and
with
for all
you?
the same reasons you said.
Yeah, and same
Well,
reasons.
I'll say this: if anyone would argue that Bobby the Brain Heenan isn't top five, they need to go back and watch when he would catch every towel that Mr. Perfect would
Oh,
throw,
that's
no matter
right.
where it was. Yes, he would catch it. So he was just as perfect, and could run his mouth, had all the funny sayings. Just yeah, he's number two in my opinion.
I totally forgot about that he would be catching his towels. Awesome. Well, then we'll go on to number two. My number two was the manager that you had already previously mentioned, and that was Paul Bearer. Um, all the same
Nice.
reasons you did. Yes. Gosh, he was such a unique individual. And again, when you say that somebody that adds to the match, I think Paul Bearer did such a great job adding to matches. I loved him with Undertaker, of course, but the whole going to Kane was just, or well, let's even start back when he debuted. Kane was such an amazing scene that I will always remember. It just, oh my gosh, he's so awesome. Um, and he's just like I said, he's unique. He's ugly as shit, but like they played off so well with that character. I mean, he really is. Just, but he was the pale white face, the thick mustache, and just jet black hair, and that just paired so well with the character that he was and who he worked with. So, gosh, he would be like a thorn in your side kind of guy, but um, I don't know. I think that's what made him so good at it. So that is my number two.
No,
Yeah, Paul Bearer.
all right. Well, we're in agreement. Number two, he's up there on it for you. But
Yeah.
all right, and you go ahead and give us your number one, sir.
My number one, I'm kind of wondering if it's yours because we haven't said it yet. My number one's Paul Heyman. Um, and yes, he is and I know Alyssa's not a fan. Your wife's not a fan of Paul Heyman. Is that still true?
No,
No.
no. Yeah, she hates Paul Heyman. She said he looks like a potato. What do you say about Paul Heyman?
What?
What's your opinion on Paul Heyman? Because we both think he's the number one manager.
Yeah. Did she leave the room again?
No, she's right here.
You think that potato-headed alien little fuck is the number one manager? Really?
Gosh damn.
And the fact that you're that mad is why he's the number one because there is no greater heel.
Told her that's his job.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know that that's his job, but I just want to punch him in the face.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's so freaking good, and he is.
But it's
he's
not
a genius.
because of him as a character.
Oh, yes,
even. It's just like it's just his face and his eyeballs and his stupid facial expressions. I just want to choke him.
Take it easy.
It's really
No,
bad.
I can't. It's rage.
My goodness.
Hey, you asked my opinion. I put the earbuds back in and gave you my opinion.
You did.
That's
We
fair.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we
because
do appreciate it.
Apparently, he's not on your top five.
Right? It's quite the opposite. Oh man, he's fantastic, but he really does. He has
Yes.
his voice when he tries to, my name is Paul Heyman. Just he gets the crowd so going, and he's so good at it, and he's managed fantastic people. Paul or Brock Lesnar is always the one that comes to my mind as the number one person that he's managed. But even to this day, right now, as of date, he's managing half of the tribal chief guys. Whatever they used to be
The bloodline.
Thank you, the bloodline. I couldn't think of it. The bloodline. And he's still just as good as he was.
Hey, do you
10 years
fucking watch wrestling?
I
dude?
swear I do. I'm just not good at like words.
The Samoan lifters.
That what they're called? The bloodline. Oh. What did I say? I said the Usos. I said something else, but yes, thank you. The bloodline. And he's such an impactful person in that the several years that they've been doing it. He's just like an anchor point to this whole faction and the storyline. And he's brilliant. He's amazing. Very smart. and he is very good at what he does. So that, I mean, not to take all of the you know.
Oh no, I don't have to fucking talk.
Right. Exactly.
No, I think Paul Heyman's number one, even though my wife hates him. Anytime she's on TV and I have this Paul Heyman guy, she'll gag when I put it on.
Yes. Love it.
Just but no, yeah, I think he's head and shoulders above the rest. His tenure,
No, he's not. He's short as fuck.
That's true. That's true. He's probably like 5'2".
Right.
The man's like 5'2".
He's
Jesus. Well, anyway, I think he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he leads everybody, and when he's like, "I love you, my tribal chief,"
yes.
and he's staring at him, and he's screaming at the corner, "No, no, please, please!" God damn it!
He's so good at it. He's like in love.
He's fantastic.
He is. He absolutely is. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad we're in agreement.
She's over here rolling her eyes. She thinks we're stupid.
Well, she's the stupid one. No. To each their own. Everyone has their own opinions.
Yeah.
So, fair.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's our top.
All right.
Managers.
Well, yeah, they're top managers, and
yeah,
there we go. We got it down. Thank you for your input, honey. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Shitting all over our nothing.
I mean, he's definitely on my top 5. He's on my top 5 list of people I'd like to strangle with a belt.
With a belt? Jesus.
Kevin's face.
We'll have to make sure Paul Heyman can't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, he's not going to watch this thing, I don't think. Hopefully. Maybe he does, though.
Just makes fun of us. What will probably happen is, if he were to, he would probably praise over her assessment. I could see that.
Yeah, he'd love it.
Yeah, he would.
He's a scumbag.
He is. Let's go to our next one.
I start bashing him.
What? Oh, then you start.
And then I start bashing him because you're like, she'll like her. And I'm like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Like, look at me. Look at him. I would respect that.
You want to introduce our next top 5, sir?
Yeah. So far we've done our top 5 wrestlers, then our top 5 managers. Our next one's the top 5 giants, and there's really not many today. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, let's get into it. So, top 5 giants. You want me to start? Okay. So at number 5, maybe a giant that most might not consider when they think of giants, but I picked Yokozuna, and I think. Before this, we kind of discussed, and I think you said you also included in this list, so that kind of makes me feel better. And maybe it's not just because of his, he's a huge sumo wrestler looking kind of character, but I think maybe the reason why it comes to mind is that he uses that so well. Something similar to Rikishi, but I think Yokozuna's personality and his success in wrestling maybe is a little bit different, and he takes that maybe as an advantage to his career. Royal Rumble winner, WWF champion, whatever. But I think from what I remember, he also had some good feuds with big name wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, like the casket,
Bret Hart.
And Bret Hart. That was classic. But I remember the big ass, the huge casket that was built for him. I think it was massive. But yeah, Yokozuna, that would be that's how I'm starting off my list.
Yokozuna's on my list.
Yeah, awesome.
Yokozuna is on my list. I have him as number 4.
Okay.
But for all the same reasons, he's a big guy. He seemed like he accomplished a lot. He had notable feuds. He could move for being that big. He could really move.
That's true too.
When he was a little bit younger, towards the earlier career. Yeah. But my number 5 is rounding out the top 5, Andre the Giant.
Oh, okay.
And it's because it was a little bit before my time. I haven't seen all of Andre in his heyday. A lot of it's probably not even recorded.
Yeah.
And when you do see him like in the WrestleMania 3 days and stuff, he's really hurting. He's old. He's not doing much. In a couple of Survivor Series, he literally just stands on the side of the ring. I think one, he just gets down and leaves. So
perfect.
I don't have enough evidence to support him being higher, but I know he was a big draw. I know that everybody loved him. And I know that, Vince thought he was the real man. Like Vince would pay him no matter what and stuff. So, yeah. So Andre is 5 for me,
Excellent.
just out of being a legend.
Yeah.
Feels like he should have to be on there.
Yeah. So that said, I think another wrestler that probably should be on everybody's top fives for that reason. He is a legend. Excellent. Good support there too. Like you said, I think when people think of Andre the Giant, it's probably the tail end of his career where he was kind of slowed down and everything. Great. All right. Let's go to number 4. My number 4, again, I don't know if other people would consider really the next two that I have, but my number 4 is Kane. Um, I wish there at the peak of his career, they did a really good job with him. Yes, with the mask and everything, but just how he just walks all over the top rope when he's coming in. He just plays that sort of giant person so well. Of course, his character was more of like a demon type, whatever. But um, he he just looked so massive compared to other performers that he would wrestle against. So I had to throw him in there.
Absolutely.
Kane, yeah. I think towards the end of his career, middle end of his career, it just was a shame what it turned out to be because they really made him look like junk, like it just kind of like a mid card wrestler. And
You mean when he was the corporate guy?
even before the corporate guy, when he was the bald Kane with no mask, and it just seemed like he'd come in middle of the show, wasn't really in too many main storylines. He kind of lost that
Pretty sure he
giant,
was ECW champion during that time.
and it could have been. I wasn't a big ECW fan, but he should be. He should be some sort
No.
of champion, yeah, more than just
Right.
once. I put him as
Yep.
4. Yeah.
He's on my list as well.
All right.
He's actually number 2.
All right.
He's number 2. He is. And I know every time we do this it gets out of order, but I feel like if we
Yeah,
go
that's good.
back and recap it, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like if you're telling your number 2 and then I'm like, my number 2 is Kane.
All right. We already did that. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's better this way. Yeah.
So, but Kane is my number 2, and there's a couple of notable matches: Judgment Day 2001, WrestleMania 14. Him and Mankind should have been tag champions till the end of time. That's such a good team, and they broke them apart because they really wanted him and the Undertaker to go after Austin, and they had to get Mankind out of there because he was hurt at the time and taking all those bad bumps. But Kane's up there. Kane's number 2 for me. He is. And it was a hard choice because his longevity too.
That's true. Forever.
Okay. Your number 3, sir.
My number 3. Oh wait, did you give us number 4?
It was Yokozuna.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You said
Yokozuna.
Yokozuna. That's right. Yokozuna. We'll continue. I'm kind of curious if this is on your list too. The Undertaker.
See, I left him off because I had already done him.
Yeah, and that's fair. I'll go ahead and keep him in because it's just for the sake of the conversation.
Sure, go ahead. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. That's
it makes more sense that he's on the big man list.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, and you're right. We did kind of talk about him already. Similar to Kane, both tall guys. But again, he just looked like he overlooked every wrestler that he would perform against, and they use that to their advantage so well. Like just kind of looking down, really looking up. Against the Undertaker and Kane. So yeah, I guess like you said, we already talked about him a lot. Such a great career throughout, and yeah, I guess there's really not much to say other than that. Yeah, because we already talked about it. That's my number 3. So
my number 3 is Big Van Vader.
Big Vader.
Yep. Yeah, Vader has, we're talking WCW run, him versus Sting, him versus Cactus Jack, him versus Flair. Then you go Japan. He's got all kinds of good stuff in Japan. And then he gets his eyeball knocked out in the match against Stan Hansen. And then he comes to WWE. And I know his WWE run wasn't that great, but he's still, it's Vader. He's a big guy. He could do a moonsault at 400 pounds,
right?
300 something pounds. But Vader is my number 3 for everything before WWE.
And that's fair. Yeah. I remember seeing Vader, the mask and everything, and just he's like a monster. He kind of freaked me out, kind of guy. Excellent, good choice, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my number 2, I had to put him in as a Big Show. He's definitely not my favorite wrestler, but when I think of Giant in the modern day, they push Big Show the entire time. The guy is massive. He wasn't that great of a wrestler because you're so big, you're limited in what you can do. Um, I think the showstopper, then he had that choke slam, then the WMD, which was pretty cool to see him try to punch the crap out of somebody. He had a couple of interesting storylines from what I remember, but I had to put him in Big Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Oh,
my number one, actually.
Really? All right, let's get into
Yeah.
it.
My number two was Kane, just to
Yep.
go back. So 2 was Kane. Number 1, Big Show. And it's because he actually is a giant.
Yes.
He wrestled for, good God, 26 years, something like that. 24 years. Yeah, he was decent in WCW. They didn't know what to do with him, but he was a giant. He was there. He was in the NWO. He was out of the NWO. He faced, he was pushed off of a building.
I don't remember that.
And he was,
oh
he was humped by a Yeti, which was a mummy.
Like what?
We'll get to it. Don't you worry.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Good to know.
And then he comes to WWE, and him and Mankind, him and Mick Foley have a Boiler Room Brawl, have a couple of good matches. Him versus Brock Lesnar had a good feud in 2003. He then goes and loses all that weight, becomes a boxer. You could always throw him in there as somebody that's going to beat Cena or try to attack somebody else. And so he ended up being my number 1 because of his longevity, the fact that he is big, the fact that he could put on a good match with Money Mayweather, the fact that he wrestled a sumo guy, and then him and Shaq. And Vince and them got their money's worth out of that man.
That's a really good point. I mean, yes, because he really is a giant, but they did kind of get to go to different avenues that I don't think they would have done with other kind of wrestlers. So those are excellent points to put Big Show as number 1. Well, my number 1 is also a giant that you had already mentioned, and I figured maybe I should have done what you did and kind of gone back with it. But I actually put Andre the Giant as number 1, and I think it's because of his just
Mystique.
Yeah, again, because he truly is a giant, and he's a giant of all giants. He's bigger than Big Show, but maybe because of his legendary status. And when you think of giant, I think Andre the Giant tends to come up as number 1, no matter what kind of wrestling fan that you are. He also had a lot of respect from everybody, and from his, from what I've learned from him and whatever documentary, whatever it was, his background and just the way that he's been able to kind of have a life with wrestling probably saved him one way or another. But I don't know. When I think of him and Hulk Hogan, when Hulk Hogan beat him, it's just, and something similar with Big Show. Like when you said something about, with John Cena, I remember John Cena F5ing Big Show. That shows the giant that he is, that it's such an impossible feat. Or Goldberg delivering a jackhammer to Big Show. I mean, he held him. I remember seeing that. He held him up for like 3 full seconds, just straight vertical.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about Hulk Hogan body slamming, I think is what it was before he leg dropped him, Andre the Giant, it just gives that full effect of what it means to be a giant in wrestling. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you bring a good point that it's hard to put Andre Giant as number 1 when we're talking about our actual, what am I trying to say here? Our like our own opinions, our own whatever, our opinions of wrestling.
The evidence we have to support it. You know what I mean? We've seen all of Big Show's career. Basically.
Exactly. We grew up watching.
And right, and we're too young to see Andre in his prime. We've seen enough snippets of it. We've heard people talk about it, but it's just not there for me. You know what I mean? So, that was my only reason for putting him so low.
And that's good because we didn't get to see him. We never saw him live. So awesome.
He died.
And he died. Yes, he did. He died. Thank you for putting that in there. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So that was our top 5 giants. That was a fun one. Let's keep going here.
Yeah, that was a good one. We're gonna go 4, our 4th top 5.
Yes.
Because we're doing 5 top 5s. That should be the name of this episode. 5 top 5s.
I didn't even realize that.
Nope,
Wish
5
I
top
did.
5s. that could be it. And
I
each
was just
time we
thinking
do this, we do 5 top 5s.
Yes, that's what this
And
episode
eventually
is
we'll run out of top 5s to do.
called. Right. Then we'll be we'll retire.
Top 5 favorite sandwiches.
Because we're out of ideas.
Anyway, so number 4 on the list, if you don't mind, I'll take the introduction. Number 4 on the list is the top 5 gimmick matches in wrestling. These gimmick matches drive us out of the canvas, off the canvas, out of the ring, take us anywhere, give us extra
Flavor.
oh, what's the word I wanted to use?
Not flavor.
What was that?
I said flavor.
Labor?
Cucumber?
Flavor's a good word for it, but
Flavor.
but it gives you it gives
Depth?
wrestlers
Depth?
obstacles.
Is it depth? Not depth.
Obstacles is
Obstacles.
the word I was looking.
Obstacles. Got
Obstacles
it.
that they have to get around or get through or get into or whatever. So, with further ado, I think that's how you do it. Without further ado,
Without
right?
further ado.
Oh, son of a bitch! I'm gonna go back.
Do it again.
What did I miss?
I said with further ado. Without. Whatever. I'm leaving it.
Well, okay, no,
What
whatever.
does that mean? With further
I
ado?
was just thinking, like, what?
Wait,
This, yeah, what?
More waiting. Yeah, with more waiting.
Not yet. Not yet. Wait for it. The suspense is killing me. Cry.
Okay. All right. Take it from the top.
Yep. This is the top 5. Start all the way over.
All right. And sorry about that. So, without further ado, I think I said that with the right accent there.
It sounds like
Without further ado, number 4 of the 5 top 5s today is gimmick matches. Go ahead, sir.
You want me to start? All right.
Yeah, start.
Excellent. So, with that said, the 5th one that I chose was and I'm hoping I'm doing this right, but I picked Hell in a Cell. Is that kind of the...
That's not right.
That's not fuck.
I'm just kidding. That's right. You're good. Go ahead.
Good. Yes, Hell in a Cell. I can't think of it. There's definitely been brutal matches or themes of matches or gimmick matches, and I don't think brutality really equates to great. But I think Hell in a Cell has a perfect balance, and there's so much history with it. When you think Hell in a Cell, I think we think of Undertaker and Mankind, which was just stupid crazy, but in a good
Most people
way.
think of.
Yeah. And the idea of just trapping somebody in a cage, like a cage match, but being able to have a whole different area where I don't think they do it anymore, but going on the top of the cell, which is 20, how high is it? 50 feet? I don't even know. But tens and tens of feet.
50 feet.
I don't know. How high is it? I don't know. I'm not good with
17 feet.
17. I said 20.
It's
Then
like
50.
it's like 20.
Okay. All right. But
They're on top of a building.
exactly. They gotta have the
A
match.
plane passed.
They have to have the match outside because it won't fit in the building. But yeah, 17.
No, I think it's about 20 feet.
20 feet in the air. I just, even if you're not, I mean, God, I hope they never do it again, but even if you're not throwing people off of the freaking cell, just, even being up there that high just adds a whole different kind of feel to a match. But using the match as a weapon, or using the cell as a weapon, the idea of keeping people out, whatever the idea was with it. I put Hell in the Cell because there were just so many great matches with it. Some of them weren't great, but there were definitely some great matches. So that's my number 5.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, I can't argue that. Hell in the Cell probably should be in most people's top 5. I like a lot of the Hell in the Cells. I was really wanting to put it on my top 5. It's not,
Okay.
but it's honorable mention.
Yeah, there you go.
There's been a lot of good ones. I like the fact that you can get around the ring, do some
True,
stuff
there's
around the
space.
ring. A lot of people get out.
Yeah.
It's definitely imposing looking. It's definitely like, dreadful. But my my number 5 is Last Man Standing.
I Love
And
that.
I chose this because the last man standing, it's usually brutal. You have to get to a 10 count.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the Texas death match where you have to pin the guy and then they can't answer a 10 count kind of thing. But the last man standing, they've gotten real creative with it. Like um, John Cena taped Batista's feet to the ropes so he couldn't get up. He literally couldn't stand because everything they did wouldn't knock each other out. So there's a lot of inventive different things you can do to keep a guy down for 10. I'm pretty sure that Mick Foley put a forklift down on The Rock so he couldn't get up. Like he put a forklift with a skid down on him
That's
so The
awesome.
Rock couldn't get up, kind of thing. Yeah. So there's just different things they've done, and they're usually pretty fun. Usually a lot of spots. They don't have to get to the point where it's blood and guts
Right.
and someone dying and barbed wire. You just can be kind of inventive with it. So that's why I went with Last Man Standing as my number 5.
That's such a good pick. And I'm so glad you mentioned the fact that there are so many spots that you get to do, and it doesn't have to be just blood and guts. So awesome. Definitely respectable. I wish I put that on there and I didn't. I think I have a. I think one of them's kind of similar to it. Actually, it's my number 4. And man, to be honest, I wish I replaced it with Last Man Standing, but my number 4 is actually an I Quit match. Almost for the exact same
Ooh.
reasons. Yeah, because again, you're talking about a match that you can go anywhere in a freaking arena if you have to, but that that allows for all of these amazing spots. And it again, you're not talking about just a simple way to win in that match traditionally, pinfall submission, but they have to say that they quit, obviously. And we get to talk about some really awesome matches. One being Mankind and The Rock. So I think for the same reasons that you had for again, Last Man Standing is for the I Quit match. There's just so much creativity that goes into it, and it doesn't have to be brutal in a way where it's just blood and guts. Yeah, that's my number 4.
Okay, that's a respectable number 4. That's one I didn't think of, and I don't know why.
Well,
Because I Quit is a good, like Terry Funk and Ric Flair had a good I Quit match. There's a lot of there's real. I mean, we just watched one
mhm,
with Mankind
Mankind
and
and
The Rock.
Rock.
So yeah, there's a lot of I Quit's a good gimmick. That's a good one.
Yeah.
My number 4 is kind of in the same vein. It's a first blood match,
Oh, those are good.
and that the point the story of how do I get this man to bleed, and they always start out with the punches or the I'm going to hit him with all this, and then you know the way that you need to protect your head and stuff so that you don't bleed is it's just good storytelling. It can be,
Mhm.
and so I picked First Blood as my number 4.
Love that. That is cool. And I guess you do think of it's the head area usually that that they're targeting for. Oh, that's a good one. Ah, I totally forgot about that. First blood match. It's a good one. Excellent.
Yep.
We'll keep going. Yeah. So number 3. This was an interesting one, and it's typically one that we see as pay per views. Is the Elimination Chamber, and it's similar to
Yeah.
And I picked it actually for similar reasons that you had just mentioned about the Hell in a Cell, because it is such an intimidating look, for one. 2, they have room to kind of run around just like a Hell in a Cell outside the ring, but it's still within a massive, ugly looking, brutal looking chamber. And again, there's so many creative areas that they can do with it, but still have to be contained inside this chamber. The concept of you're starting off with 2 people, but everybody else, the other 4 other people, have to come out randomly, gives it a good
Yeah.
quality. Yeah, different concept
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah.
And do you remember? Did you see the match? I can't remember all who's in it. I should have researched it, but the last 2 contenders of the match was Undertaker and Batista. Do you remember that one at all? Can't remember the year.
Yeah.
It was the spot was so phenomenal. It was where Batista had Undertaker on his shoulder, and he was ramming him. He's using him as a battering ram in the chains on the side of the chamber. And at one point, Undertaker stopped him, pushed him off of the chain to where Batista, with him still holding him like a battering ram, tumbles over the ropes and reverses it to a
It's
freaking tombstone. Yes, that is
Yes.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome. I just get so pumped every time I think about it. It's like, oh, that's so, and the crowd just
It's
going
great.
like crazy. Yeah, like it's one thing to
Yeah.
hit like something like a stunner or an RKO out of nowhere, but to hit a tombstone out of nowhere is insane to win the match. So maybe that's why I could be a little biased because of that match, but I put Elimination Chamber as number 3.
Oh yeah, yeah. That probably would have been 2008,
Yeah, it was late 2000.
2009.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that's killer.
Yes.
Elimination Chamber is a good one too. I going back, I probably would have put Elimination Chamber on there. That's a good one. Damn it.
Yeah. This was
Good
a
call.
good category.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 3 is a dog collar match.
Yes, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, because the dog collar's like that's reserved for two people that hate each other, and you got the shitbag heel that's trying to get away and gets out of everything, and you don't have to touch corners.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to whatever. We're 9 feet away from each other, and that's as far as you're gonna get. And if you try to get any further, I'm gonna pull you back by your head and beat the hell out of you. And then you can lay the chain down and try to slam them on it. You can whip them with it. You can choke them with it. You can tie their legs up with it. And so yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Do those? And I'm trying to remember. And such a classic match. That's a fantastic pick. Those tend to be like a no disqualification kind of idea too, right? Like, could you introduce weapons? I can't remember. Because if you think about
it, I mean, I guess
because the chain would be a weapon. So
yeah, I don't think you can. No, there's no disqualification. You're going to put the guy through the table. You're like I said, you're going to choke them with it, whip them with it, kick them while they're down, tie them up with it, whatever. Yeah,
so they're
pervert.
Yeah. Get ready, honey. Dog collar match here in about 15 minutes.
I just love it because I think as a viewer you would kind of forget that she was there, and then she interjects with that. You're a pervert. That was just so funny. I love that so much.
I was getting myself worked up.
You were just whip him and whoo.
Good thing the camera is only chest up. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll be right back.
Right, and then you stand up and knock into the camera. That's a good one.
Hit the mic swings.
That's a good classic match though. And I love the concept that they can't get away from each other, but they're not contained. They just have to stay within, like you said, 9 feet.
Right. Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. My number 2, also sort of a similar theme as what we've talked about before, but is an Iron Man match.
Damn it, that's a good one.
Another good one. There's just so many good ones. I know. And again, like we said, it's similar to the other ones for the same concept. You can kind of have so many good spots. And it's not just beating the guy the one time, but beating them multiple times and hoping that the other person can't outbeat you. Gives it a whole different depth in the story of the match. And then the one that I always think of is Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle was a good one. I think at the end of it, Kurt Angle won 4 times. Brock ended up winning 5, and I think it ended with Kurt trying to apply the ankle lock, but they run out of time. So that's the other concept is that it's timed. Yeah, it's either 30 minutes to an hour. So I had to throw that one in there. But yeah, for similar reasons that we talked about before. Iron Man.
That's a good one. And the only problem with that is that a lot of guys. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A lot of guys go with let's have a draw. We go 30 minutes, no pins, no submissions. It's like if I'm in a match and I know I have to work 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, and you grab an ankle lock, after a little bit I'm going to tap. I'm going to burn that one win because then you have to let go. But if you leave it locked in and I take all this pain and damage to my leg, it's just going to hurt me in the long run. So you grab the ankle lock, I try to roll out, you hold on to it, I tap, and then I get a breather. Then we go back at it.
That's so brilliant.
And that's a great story. And I don't know why this just clicked in my head. I'm going to say it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the match, the story could be that I'm telling everybody like the whole time, I can burn a loss. You grab me in the ankle lock, it's not going to work. I'll tap and then you can't hold it. I'll fight it as long as I can, but I'm not going to take damage to myself because I'm going to beat you in the long run. So the whole match, he's going for the ankle lock, knowing that if he locks it in, I'm going to tap So he could rack up like something goofy in the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes of getting me in ankle locks, where he racks up like 5 fucking wins. And my dumb ass is thinking like, I'm gonna come back because I'd be the heel, like,
Right.
yeah, I'm smarter than that. And then in the last 15 minutes, say it's in my head it's 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
The last 15 minutes, I have to win 4 times.
4 times at least.
Or I don't retain my championship,
Mhm.
or I don't win your championship. And so the Iron Man's great. That's good. It's a good gimmick.
Yeah, I'm glad I put
good
it
one.
in there.
Good one,
That's
brother.
that's just that's so brilliant thinking, and it also introduces like that confidence that I think you were kind of trying to allude to. Is yeah, I'll burn that loss, but I know I'm going to get it back. So it's so cool.
Yeah, I'll get it back. I got it done.
Yeah, that's like a
But,
third dimensional kind
Yeah,
of thing.
so that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got?
My number 2. We're on number 2, correct?
Yes, still on number 2.
If
Yep.
I'm following along.
Yep.
Number 2, ladder match.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I
Ladder
didn't think of
match.
that. Another classic.
They're always brutal. They're always fun. High spots. Done right, they can be very intriguing. They can be very, who's going to get the thing? You know, everybody gets the slow climb, and everybody's like, oh, here comes the slow climb. Like, the moment the match starts, you're slow climbing. You're so worn out from that second rung, buddy. But
Right.
they're fun. They're fun.
And they tend to be with really good wrestlers too. That's what really makes that match so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. And visually it's just exciting. The belt,
Yes.
the briefcase, the whatever's hanging above, it just looks cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, ladder match is my number 2.
Oh, that's such a good one. Oh, and they even did like
Yeah.
the theme of the Money in the Bank is a ladder match for that reason. Oh, that's a
Right.
good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. This is probably my
Yeah,
favorite category. Yeah.
Money in the Bank's kind of added in there too. I figured like Money in the Bank was kind of
Same
a ladder
thing.
match.
Yeah. No, same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I agree. That would be the same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Good one. All right. Well, number 1. I don't know. I feel like it's a 50-50 that you might have thought of this one. I shouldn't say thought of, but put on. Because I think we talked about it, but I put a Royal Rumble or over the rope top. Yeah, that was my pick. It's a totally different concept than I think anything that we've talked about, although the ladder match is a different concept too. But I think if it wasn't in the podcast itself, it's something that you and I have talked about before, introducing the idea of you don't know who these wrestlers are coming out in the allotted time that they're supposed to come out, whatever interval it is. But it introduces ideas, specifically the actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view of awesome returns. The 5-minute fame that they get, but it's still a huge pop. It's just exciting to see. And they usually have really good spots. I loved Kofi Kingston and his prime in those matches. Actually, he did win. Didn't he win a Royal Rumble? I think he won one. No, maybe not. I don't know. But I think everybody, every time he came out, I think we knew he would never win. But it wasn't how long he was going to last or if he was going to win. It was how is he not going to get eliminated? Because for like a good stretch of time, every time they try to throw him over the top, something creative he would pull out of his ass to
the chair, the handstand.
Yes, the handstand.
Jump into the barricade.
He jumped on the barricade. A goofier one was the pancakes.
Big E rolling out.
Yeah, and holding him. Oh, it's so cool. There was just so many good spots with it. At least entertaining. But overall, the idea of having a match where it's something like a King of the Ring kind of thing, where you're the number one person out of, if it's 30, 15, whatever, Royal Rumbles tend to be 30. I think they did a 60-man one. That idea, and then being the number one person, I didn't go over the ropes, everybody else did sort of idea, I think is pretty brilliant. It's different. It's definitely different. I had to put that as number 1. I think it has such a good build, and all the way to the end. Yeah.
Shout out to Pat Patterson coming up with it.
Who's the one that came up with it? Wow, Pat Patterson. He's another brilliant guy.
He's the one that would book most of them too.
Oh, good. There you go. That would make sense. Wow.
Yep.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Royal Rumble's a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
I went with something kind of odd that I don't think very many people would have put for mix. I went with the 2 out of 3 falls match as my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as my number 1. I don't know why. I guess at the time it made a lot more sense now that we've mentioned 17 other gimmick matches that I really like. But for some reason, 2 out of 3 falls hit me, and I'm like, I like that. It's kind of in the same vein as an Iron Man match. It's kind of, but it's even more competitive. Like
Yeah.
I only get two.
Exactly. Yeah.
I only get two, and a lot of tag matches like the Briscoes would go on a run where they were like undefeated in 2 out of 3 fall matches.
Didn't know that.
The Briscoe brothers and stuff in ROH, and it just something about it. I'm like, you know what, I like that, and it's also not no DQ. It's not blood and guts. It's not a cage. It's not a ladder. It's just basic wrestling ability. Like I'm gonna beat you twice, kind of thing. So that's what I picked. Kind of a weird way to finish it out after all the other ones, but
Well,
it is one of my favorites.
No, it's good, and the good point that you bring up is that you can't introduce weapons and things like that. It has to be just your classic style wrestling, but not only the only way you could win is by defeating the guy two times, but that also means you can't lose 2 times. Whereas something like the Iron Man match or Iron Man match, you could not lose 2 times, but someone could also win 50 times, and it just doesn't have that same kind of excitement. So many creative
Right.
ideas come from, I think, from 2 out of 3. That was actually one of my more favorite matches when I played on video games, like the SmackDown versus Raw and all that was the 2 out of 3. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Classic. Good, good. That was a fun category. That definitely is my favorite category of our top five
Real,
fives.
real quick,
Yeah.
have you ever seen a? I'm sorry, I cut you off there. Yeah, that was a good topic on the top fives. Is what you were saying.
Yes, and that was.
But have you ever seen the championship scramble that they did in like 2007 and 2008?
I don't think so. What was the concept?
5 or 6 guys, 30-minute time limit, and 5 guys would wrestle. It was kind of like a battle royal. Everybody was in the ring at the same time, and whoever pinned, it's picture hot potato with the title. So whoever pinned, whoever won, became the champion. So they were the champion, and when the time expired, whoever was champion was champion. You stayed in the ring, so you could get pinned 5 times. Yeah, it was. They were always pretty cool.
Yeah,
they were always pretty cool. And then you got to see people like Brian Kendrick was technically the WWE champion for 45 seconds, or 3 minutes, or whatever. And so it was very cool. And they have one. I don't know if it was Night of Champions or can't remember off the top of my head. Damn, that's a shame. But for ECW, WWE, and the World's Heavyweight Championship, so 3 of them in a night with 5 different guys, and it was these scrambles. They're pretty cool.
Oh, they should do that more often.
We'll get to them.
Yeah, good. We should.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do it.
Yeah, they really, because that is really cool. And that let's say that if I was a wrestler and I didn't win that, but if I won once, you damn know that I would always claim that I was a champion, even if I didn't.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
yeah,
I put that on my resume. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so great. They definitely need to bring those more. I'll have to look at those, and yeah, we should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That is. I'm glad you brought that up. Cool.
Yeah, I just thought it was I thought you'd kind of like it after talking Iron Man and everything else.
Yeah.
And the battle and the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber. It's kind of all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Just a different day. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. And our fifth and final is championship titles. I went personally with design and what I like about them and how they feel, and or how I feel about them. Like, oh, they're important. That's whatever. And looks. So go ahead. Did you do it that kind of the same way too, or we?
Yeah, no, I did, and I don't know if you did happen to do different titles. 4 out of the 5 were all the main, WWE or World Heavyweight. Yeah, but that's kind of how I did it too. Yeah. So top 5 championship belts. You want me to start it off?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Excellent. Okay. Well, my the 5th one, number 5, was actually an undisputed championship. It was the black and gold one, and it's back in the day. And you know what? I should have put I didn't think about that.
It's the Brock Lesnar one.
Yeah. I was gonna say I should have
put the JBL one.
Yeah. Yes, and JBL. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh man, I'm so mad I forgot to bring that up. That would have been an honorable mention because he's one of my 5 or one of my favorites. But I didn't put him in the top 5. But yeah, I should have thought.
God, you hate JBL.
Yeah, I clearly hate JBL. But yeah, that was my 5th one. That was number 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 5 is the new WWE title,
The
the
one
one
that
with
came
just
out.
WWE in the middle. They're the ones
Mhm.
that they're currently running with. It looks cool.
Mhm.
It's got a big design in the middle. Obviously, you can tell who it's from. I like how they changed the plates for each individual wrestler.
That's cool.
Yeah, not the red one. I like the black. I like the plain black one. But so anyway, yeah, that's my number 5 is the current WWE World
I didn't even
Heavyweight
think of that.
Championship.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think of just looking at the new one. But that is cool that you can. And they have the faces on them. Awesome. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't
What's
read
your
my
number 4?
handwriting. My number 4 is the classic Big Eagle WWE Championship. It just when I think
I'm sorry, the Big Eagle or
Yeah, the Big Eagle.
Winged Eagle?
I'm sorry, the Big Winged Dingle. I said dingle.
The big winged dingle. The big winged dingle.
The Winged Eagle. Yes.
Kevin likes the big winged dingle.
Kevin, like you're not gonna
The
believe
big wing.
Winged Eagle.
Can't say I'm surprised.
I can't say. Screw you. I'm crying.
I don't even know what we're talking about. What is the big wing dingle?
Nobody knows.
The big wang dangle?
Yeah. Yeah. The big wing dingle. Oh shit. Bruh.
Just the way she said
He went to say the big winged eagle, or he went to say the big eagle title.
Yeah,
and I said, is it the winged eagle or the big title? And he says, I like the big winged dingle. Big dangle winged or whatever he said.
Yeah, big wing dingle.
The big wang dangle. We're back to Cock TV.
Oh my god, I'm hurting so bad.
What are you watching, dude?
No, I'm so embarrassed.
How big is it?
Put it on camera. Oh my god, I'm like in serious.
See this fella. Hold on. Keep recording. Yeah. It's only gonna be a second.
Yeah, I will. No problem. What you got there? Oh, shut up! That is. Why did you not bring that out before?
Because it's.
You were waiting for the moment.
Because. Yeah.
There it is. That's my number. That's my number 4.
That's your number 4, dude.
Yeah, it should be number 1 now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
my number 1.
Is it?
It's Stone Cold's.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's the Attitude Era.
Yeah, you. It's iconic. It's definitely probably the most iconic. Now I'm looking through my list. Why did I put? Okay, yeah, and maybe because
did you put the 1995 tag champions?
No, I did not. I didn't put any tag champions. I think it's because while the Eagle's awesome looking, and it is iconic, and it was on a lot of amazing wrestlers.
Absolutely.
I think the design. I think I like the other designs from the other ones that I chose, or maybe to me it's more impactful for my memory of when I was watching wrestling.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. That's why I picked this one.
For same reason, yeah, because it just you have like an attachment.
Well, because it's my it's my championship. That's the one I saw first.
Yeah, exactly. That was my number 1 for the same reason as what you said. Oh, that thing is so cool. What a great time to debut your title. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks to my lovely wife for buying that for me for Christmas.
Oh, that was a good gift. Good for her.
Yep.
Sweet. All right.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
I had to bust out
the notes. Oh, the championship, the title. Are you going to bring that out every podcast now?
I'll wear it over my face. Hold on.
Oh my god.
All right, so my number 4.
I'm actually surprised.
Can you hear me?
I can actually kind of hear you pretty clearly. That's even better.
My number 4 is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship title.
I don't remember what that looks
like. Google it.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it right now. Floating title man.
Before my wife was upstairs tending to our children. And I did say thank you for buying that for me for Christmas.
Oh.
I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, it was like 6 years ago.
But
Longer than
still.
that even, but you're welcome.
Great gift.
It was a great fucking gift.
Was it?
You're welcome a decade ago.
Okay. Their belt
Well, I
is
think you at the time too.
their belt is pretty freaking awesome.
It looks good, don't it?
It does. I love. They have like a perfect combination of the gold and silver or whatever the materials are, but
Yeah.
like the middle, even like the side plates are so cool looking, and the whole shape altogether is very unique. Good pick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good looking title, but that is my number 4.
Yeah, excellent. We'll put that on.
All right, what do you have for number 3? Let's roll into it.
And I'll also add that basically, like I said, they're all main championships, and they are all within WWE. So I don't know if that's boring, but my number 3, there was the Black and Gold Undisputed Championship, but it was the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I was mixing the two. But yeah, Black and Gold Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship, and I think that was the mid 2000s as well. I should have double checked. Let me look at it real quick. Black and Gold Undisputed.
Isn't that the one you just? Wasn't that your number 5?
No, that was. Oh, yeah. Oh man. I literally wrote that.
You wrote the same title twice.
It's not even bad enough that I wrote it twice. I didn't even realize
It's
after
your
saying
list, you
it.
silly fuck.
Yeah, well, that's when I was looking like, oh, okay, that is what it says, and then.
Hey, hold on, Kevin. Read your number 5. Read your number 5.
Black and Gold, Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion title.
Okay, read your number 4.
It's the Eagle, Big Eagle Wing WWE Championship. Not Dingle.
Now read number 3.
It's the Black and Gold Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay, so number 3 and number 5, solid. Got it.
That should probably be your number 1 at this point.
Well, you're not going to believe it. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't even understand what you're saying.
I shouldn't be.
I
in
hope
this
and pray that that's what
podcast.
it is.
It's not. I should have just went with it. And number 1, the one and only Black and Gold. I'm so mad because I literally went through like 10 different ones, and how the hell did I pick the same one twice?
No, until right now.
Yeah,
Just
and
this
literally didn't
moment.
realize until not even. I probably would have kept going and not realized until you did. Unless you had said,
Oh,
"Is
God.
that your number 5?" Fuck. All right, let me look at another goddamn championship belt real quick.
You better not cut out 1 second of this.
Oh, I know. I already see these are like perfect like TikTok clips to like teasers. Oh,
What's fucking nuts? What's fucking nuts is that you're like, you said, and my number 3, the Black and Gold. You said it with such confidence.
I was confident. I was almost excited. Like, oh, okay, this is a good one.
Did he catch it?
No,
When he said
I did it.
number 3, did
No,
he catch
no.
that he
He
already
started-
said it for number 5?
He
I would've-
started describing it again.
Yeah, I would have kept
Okay.
going. I wouldn't have known until he'd say something. Oh my god, I could imagine when I was editing. Like, that's when I would realize.
Okay.
Like, oh my
I
god.
was
Poor
like,
thing.
wait, wasn't that? Well, then I got to thinking, I'm like, oh, he's talking about the other undisputed. There's only one undisputed.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like thinking it in my head. I'm like, he's confused.
Oh my god. All right, give me a.
Oh, I have a headache from laughing so hard. That was fantastic, dude.
Yeah, my head hurts too. Going
Should-
through.
let me just do my number 3
Yes,
while you look it up.
please. Yeah, and then I'll edit it.
All right, so my number 3 is the AEW World. No, I'm just kidding.
We shouldn't be allowed to do this.
No, my number 3 is the 1980s Intercontinental Championship,
What?
the one that Cody Rhodes brought back that's white.
Yeah, damn it. That was my number
Do you
2.
have that title?
I did. That was my number 2.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Yes.
pull the title up like I did.
Oh, that would be even better. No, I love that color combination with the white belt. That was my number 2. Another classic. But I didn't
They should make these
realize.
things cheaper.
Is it heavy? Does it feel heavy? It looks heavy.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
real. It's
Yeah, I figured it's real. I just, you see it on TV, but is it
you.
really?
You did not. You thought it was plastic.
No, really, it's like shiny, and it comes with a cool case. Is it leather or what is the case looking like there?
The case,
Dusty.
it's felt.
It's felt. Oh, nice, even fancier.
Yeah, it is dusty. It was in the garage. I've yet to hang it up. I need a man cave.
Yes, we all need.
I need a she shed.
A she shed. So cute. God damn it! I gotta figure out what my. I gotta remember to edit this correctly.
Now you have to fill your number 3 and number 5 spot because the number 1 is the belt
Yeah.
you've said twice.
Yeah, said thanks for rubbing it in.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm here for that.
God.
So anyway, number 3, the Intercontinental title. I like it. I like it better than what they went to in the early. What was it? 90. Probably 96 or 97. The Intercontinental Championship became that stupid little oval guy.
Smaller, yeah, that was kind of ugly.
Yeah, what the hell was? Anyway, I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but then he beat up.
Right. Like I don't even want to win this.
You liked AEW so much, just make it that one.
I was thinking that too, but I kind of like how you almost introduced me into. I guess I will. I know it's a cop out, but
Okay,
yeah.
look up the original ROH World Title. See if you like that.
Is the original one?
It says ROH on it. It's in red.
It is the red. Okay, because there's one that's golden with black and a little bit of red. Oh, this one looks awesome. World champion. Here, I think it'll be easier if I can screen share. Oh wait a minute. Oh, right there. Okay. Who's that? Is that ROH?
That's TNA. That's the world title from TNA.
Oh, okay. See, that's what, and so, I mean, I'll talk about it in a minute, but that the number 1 is the for me was similar to that for WWE. It's the all gold, the big, like the huge one.
The big gold belt.
Yeah, the big gold belt. Yeah,
that's my number 2.
Awesome. All right, we'll save our excitement. Let me. Now I can't even see. Oh, that one's pretty cool too. Oh, it's even got the flag on the
Old
side.
school.
I,
Yeah, it's old school.
I guess I'll do AEW. I think I like that better than all the other ones.
Yeah, AEW is a really nice championship.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Okay,
They really
I'll just
do.
start us off there. Okay. So for I gotta do a lot of editing.
Oh, you might like this too. Hold on, look up Google Winged Eagle.
You motherfucker. You mean? Don't you mean Wang Dangle? Wang?
No, Winged Eagle is an actual title though.
Yeah, that was my number 3 or my number 2 or my number.
No, they're different. They're different.
Wait, the Winged Eagle?
Yeah, they're different.
All right, Winged Eagle belt.
It's the one that Shawn Michaels had and Bret Hart.
Oh, that's right. Because it's not the circle. Like yours.
Right here, Peter.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be my number. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I think AEW's looks better than that.
I do too, but I want to keep the like how I said, like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I've never seen that. Whatever.
What about the spinner title?
I hate the spinner title. I thought that was so fucking stupid. I don't know why. It just really made me mad.
Gosh damn, sorry I brought it up. How do you feel about that new title that Seth Rollins carries?
Oh, I don't know why I don't remember that. Oh, I do remember. Is it blue? In the middle?
No, I think it's black.
Oh, is it black? Okay. I
Silver.
don't know why I don't remember. Let me see it again. Is it all circle or is it a shape different? The middle?
No, it's shaped like the big gold belt.
Okay, that's what I thought, which is pretty cool. Like a throwback. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got The NXT title's really cool.
Yeah, I saw those when I was Googling some ideas. The NXTs are pretty cool. I think the NXT tag titles are really cool looking. That's okay. I'll go with the big wing or I'll go with the wing dingle.
Man, you love talking about the big dangle.
Why can't I say winged eagle? Winged eagle. Winged eagle. What is Ron
The
Burgundy
winged
say?
eagle was denied a bank loan.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Jesus, what a derailment.
All right, so what was your number 2?
So my number 2 is the wait, is it number 3 the one that I'm supposed to be on? Yeah.
Yeah, number 3 you picked AEW.
No, I wanted number 3 to be winged eagle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, winged eagle.
Winged eagle.
Winged dingle.
Winged dingle. Motherfucker. Okay, here we go. We're never gonna get through this. And we're so close.
All right, number 3.
Number
What do you
3
think?
is similar to my number 4. This one is the Winged Eagle Championship belt. Another iconic belt. When I was looking through them. Similar reasons, but yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay. What's your number 2?
All right. For number 2, that was the same one that you had, I believe, earlier. Was the classic was the Intercontinental Champion. God damn it, I can't talk.
Interracial.
Interracial. The interracial wing dangle champion of the world.
Oh man.
My number 2 was your previous selection. I can't remember which one it was, but it's the
3.
it's the classic Intercontinental Championship with the white belt. Yeah,
Right on, sir.
yeah. I love the color combination, and I don't know. I think of a lot of good wrestlers when it comes to that championship. So that was my number
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
There was a yellow one. They used a yellow one on
Oh.
the Ultimate Warrior.
I'm gonna look that up. Yellow.
Look it up, brother. My number 2 is the big gold belt. The WCW Championship, seen on Ric Flair, seen on Triple H, seen on The Undertaker, seen on Batista, as seen on SmackDown circa 2008, where it was. But it debuted on Raw, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, really? See.
Yeah. Eric Bischoff brought it back.
Oh, okay. And I did.
Yep.
I now see the picture of the yellow. That is really interesting with the gold plate, the Intercontinental
Mhm.
Championship belt. That is actually really cool. I didn't think I'd like that.
Yeah.
So your number 2 is actually my number 1, and for the reasons,
Great.
yeah, again, great wrestlers. They won that, but that's when I think I really started watching wrestling, and that's the belt that comes to mind first when it comes to WWE. Is the big gold belt.
Right.
Yeah, the thing's massive and on the waist of
It
amazing
is.
wrestlers. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Did not know that. That
That's
it
my number
debuted.
1 right there.
Bingo. That's sweet. It's just iconic. A fantastic gift.
It is. They're both iconic.
They are.
I'm going to get the big gold belt as well.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to.
I love that.
Yep.
Those are 2 belts.
Just as soon as my wife decides to buy it for me for Christmas.
She left the room.
She's not listening.
Wow.
Anyway, so there, dude, we have done it. We have done
did it.
5 top 5s.
I
bet
love
it took
that.
an hour and a half.
It did. It did. A lot of there's a lot of bullshit in it, but that was
That's
awesome.
all right. Keep some of that bullshit in there, dude.
I
That's
will.
good stuff.
That was
People
there was
like
some-
that.
Yeah, I agree. It makes it more entertaining.